Well, hello, Monique.
Hi.
Hi. Hi, and welcome, Dr. Carolyn Colleen.
Hello,
I'm
hello.
excited to kick off our podcast today, another remote episode recording where we are so lucky to get to have a really special guest with us. I hope that our viewers and listeners are enjoying that we're doing some more remote episodes because it's giving us access to some incredible people that maybe aren't in Duluth. Maybe you're not here right now. So it's really fun to be able to connect. So our guest today, Dr. Carolyn Colleen, we're super excited to talk to her. So Monique, are you ready to just jump right into this episode?
Totally.
Welcome to Heart and Soul, the podcast where we empower and inspire women to lead their best lives, harnessing the power of their hearts and souls. We are Mariah
And Monique.
your hosts and guides on this journey of self-discovery and personal growth.
In each episode, we will dive deep into topics that matter most to you, from self-love and confidence to career development, relationships, and everything in between. We believe that every woman has a unique strength and inner wisdom waiting to be unleashed.
Join us as we cover insightful heart and soul-centered topics and interview incredible women who've overcome challenges, chased their dreams, and found their true purpose. Through all of this, you will discover practical tips, strategies, and real-life stories to help you navigate life's twists and turns.
For whatever season of life you're in, this podcast is your safe space to explore, learn, grow, and possibly even laugh and cry with us. So grab your headphones, maybe your favorite drink, and we'll embark on this transformative journey together.
With heart, I'm Mariah.
And with soul, I'm Monique.
Welcome to the Heart and Soul podcast. We have a tradition here where we talk with every guest about how we got to know you or how we came to invite you to be a guest. So I'm going to let Monique take this one because it's our first time meeting here today. So I'm going to let Monique share how she met you and how we ended up having you on the pod today.
Yeah. So thank you. It was so cool the way we met. We were at a conference in Rochester and you were the keynote speaker. And I was like, but we had met before that, right? We had met doing a couple Zooms talking about the event, how we were going to present, how we, with Christy, who put together the Alma conference. And I was just like, oh my gosh, when I heard your story for the first time at the conference, I was like, she's so incredible on so many levels. First of all, I need her to meet Mariah because Mariah is my work wife and we love each other. And I feel like all of these amazing women that I know need to know each other because that's how we can support each other, right? We can lift each other up. We can have great conversations. But your story, I feel like, is just one that's not only so relatable, but how you support women through what you've gone through the work that you do. I feel like it just needs to get out there. And so I really would love our listeners to hear about it. But it's just been a pure pleasure to just be in your presence. You have such a great vibe.
Oh, thank you, Monique. Oh my goodness. So yes. So I'm so honored to be here because, Monique, when we first met online in a Zoom room, I'm like, oh, her energy. I just want that. I just want that in my orbit. Yes. And it just emanates from you. And then I get to see you in person and give you a huge hug. And it was just like the stars aligned. And so I'm so honored. And Mariah, it's so good to meet you because any friend of Monique's is definitely a friend of mine. So I am honored. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
What was her
here
energy
today.
and aura that made me say, I'm going to make that woman my best friend? And here we are.
Yes.
So it's a good plan.
Here we are. How many years later? We've won each other over. So what we like to do when we have people on the show is really like get to know them at whatever level you'd love to share, and then ask about your work and the work that you do and how it impacts, women. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to, be a doctor, how did your life happen? Just all of the things in 30 minutes. Go.
Go.
No pressure.
Go. Yes. No pressure at all. And thank you I just want to honor you and honor the listeners, because we have so many different areas that we have opportunities to tune in. And as we tune in and get present into this moment, I want to honor you for just all of the magic that you provide. We have, in many places, in many capacities, we have sometimes decision fatigue and deciding just to be right here. And I just honor you for giving this space, giving the space to everyone who's listening, an opportunity to lean in. And within leaning in is a bit of the thoroughfare of my journey. I talk about my journey and in a reflective way, and noticing different storms. And I've navigated storms throughout my life. And as I reflect and look at them, how I chose to rise through them. So for me, as a Midwestern woman right here in Central Time, I navigated many hardships. And as those hardships emerged, I looked at them in a way of, sometimes in life, you may resonate with this. Either we're in a storm, we're just coming out of one, or we're heading right into one. And it's not necessarily that the storms stop. I wouldn't say that. I would say that we just learn how to navigate those storms better. And for me, my storm started at a very young age, where I experienced many things that never should have happened. And as I look at the way that I see the world, with many forms of different kinds of abuse that I experienced, I had to choose being on an island and burying all of those secrets, or learning to navigate the storm and step into community. And that's why I love what you're building and what you've built is, again, storms don't end. If we can surround ourselves with humans that know the storm and still show up for us in a way that's beautiful sunlight. So I'll share with you one storm that has really shifted the perspective of a more recent, I guess, storm that has supported me. And just to give you a picture, there I am, hands on the wheel of my vehicle in my driveway of a house that I put there. House, husband, 2.5 kids, no picket fence, but definitely had a dog and a cat. And there I am, sitting, and I can envision myself. The air conditioning is blowing on my face. My hands are tight on the wheel, and I can feel my whole body shaking. And as I'm sitting in the driveway, and I know that I need to go inside, but my body can't move, and my body is shaking. My heart is racing. And in that moment, I was experiencing a panic attack. I'd never experienced one before. I didn't know what it was. And I couldn't move. And in this space, as my body was revolting on me, I had a decision to make. I had to decide how I was going to calm my body down in order to walk into that room and make a choice of how I was going to show up as a mom, as a soon-to-be ex-wife, as a business owner, and as a leader of who I was choosing to be overall. I had to take a deep breath. I had to focus on the goal of who I was choosing to be. Is this storm going to break me, or is it going to elevate me? And then I had to go and take fierce action, just 5 minutes. And when I say fierce action, I mean I had to embody and harness all of that emotion, all of that was debilitating my body. And I needed to use it as fuel to help me mentally and physically move forward, just 5 minutes at a time. I remember going up those steps, walking into my kitchen, the usual ones that have the island in the middle. And I put my hands on that counter. And as I thought, okay, deep breath. I'm going to accept what I cannot change. And I'm going to talk through the proceedings of my divorce. A divorce that I didn't want, but also the best decision that I had made. And within one day, I lost everything I knew. Physically, mentally, in the future of growing old with somebody. And I had to rewrite my story. And in that moment, I had to choose who I was going to be and whether this was going to break me. And within that storm, emerging from it and starting over again. And each of the storms that we are, might I say, gifted and elevated out of, I was able to take that storm and learn to love me. Learn to redefine what I saw was love. And from there, map out who I was choosing to be. Step into the leader I chose to be for my family, for my children, for my community, and most importantly, for myself. Those times where I sobbed so hard, harder than other times that perhaps I would have had more loss, per se. And the fear of the unknown and uncertainty. Fast forward, I've been able to then build. I made bigger dreams than I had capacity to make because I had to let go. And being able to let go and provide, as you're holding on to something so tight, you don't have the ability to hold anything else because your hands are full. And I was able to then identify the capacity of, what I thought was love, at being in love with something that was what I had created, and it wasn't necessarily what was really there. So fast forward from there, I made some larger goals in capacity for me, and I started to dream bigger. And then within dreaming bigger, I dreamed, what if I could help elevate a message to a larger audience? And what would that biggest audience be? And I made a 20-year goal. And that 20-year goal was to speak at the United Nations. And that 20-year goal, letting go of what never should have been mine to carry, I achieved that goal in less than 3 years, and I'm proud to say I'm a delegate for the Commission on the Status of Women United Nations.
Wow.
And being able to release what's not for us, and open capacity for what serves us and serves the larger community. Elevating out of the storm, redefining and rewriting our story in which to help us rise together.
Wow. Mic drop. That's what I have to say to that. Thank you so much for sharing that story. I am over here just absolutely enraptured, because what you just shared is so many women's stories. I'm literally thinking to myself, I've been in the car having the panic attack and having to let go. I've been there. I know Monique has been there. And the way you so beautifully just shared how you rose out of that, and all of it, I'm so blessed to be here with you today. just, yeah. Can I just call you Carolyn? What do you
Of
prefer? Dr.
course.
Carolyn?
Yes.
Carolyn?
Carolyn, yes.
Carolyn, I just, through these airwaves and this remote recording, have to say, I know exactly why you're here today. And thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, you wrote a book too, and this is not even part of the book, right? Because and this is your most recent storm probably. That just impressed me so much with your ability to have resilience in storms, right? To ride the waves and not be taken down by the waves. I've been in so many similar situations, and your story is unfortunately relatable, right?
Right.
Unfortunately, this is like relatable, and there's so many of us who are going through or have gone through similar situations. So the way you eloquently share and the sense of integrity and dignity that you have around it, and coming home to yourself, like what a gift to be able to show, because how would people know the path to get there if someone wasn't brave enough to actually walk that path and show them the way, right? That's a true guru.
Yes.
The person who just like literally has the light and says, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere that I'm trying to follow my biggest light. And I got you, because we've all had people who have gotten us, right? Mariah's gotten me. I've hopefully had her at times, right?
Yes.
We've all been there for each other, as we
Yes.
should be, as we should be. So thank you for sharing that. Yeah.
The concept of expansion is something that Monique and I have spent a lot of we've talked a lot about recently, and like your experience in navigating these storms and sharing that is an expander for all the women out there that can learn from you and say, she did it, I can do it, I can learn from this, I can navigate through this storm, because like you said, they're always going to be coming. It's just a matter of how you navigate through and get ready for the next one, because it's around the corner.
Yeah.
So I just you so eloquently, it's just the word, like, again, I was enraptured, and I can see how in a speaking setting, like, you're captivating every audience that you're in front of, because you so beautifully share this.
Yeah, so I
Thank
want to
you.
hear about some of the ways that you translate this into your work and how you support others through situations, or how it is you choosing to use your life experience to support, because this is one of the platforms that Mariah and I use to support women. We'd love to hear more about you and the work that you do to support.
Yeah, the
Yes,
fierce
yes.
method. I'm really excited to have you share more about the fierce method.
Yeah, so the first method I tapped into a little bit with the breathe, focus, and fierce action. And within this methodology is really taking that deep breath. So there you are in a space as you know that you're bracing for a storm. Now we have different levels of storms. Sometimes it might be a light rain, and sometimes it might be a catastrophic tsunami, right? And it's we know what they are. And I encourage women, truly, it's something that as actually I do every week, and as within this methodology is looking down to the scope of your week, right? So taking space and time for yourself, sitting down and laying out your calendar. Now, within capacity, I talk about this fierce method. And what we're doing is we're interweaving the fierce method into our capacity, because as women, when we show up, in order to be able to show up as who we're choosing to show up as, we still need to have capacity in which to do it. And that takes certain things, like maybe water, a little bit of energy, and also time. And as women, we navigate and juggle a lot, and we are good at it. Yes. And the fierce method, it's breathe, taking a deep breath, getting present, focusing on where and who we're choosing to be. So really getting focused into where that is. How do I truly want to show up? What is it that I am truly after? And at the end of the day, what really, really matters? And that's where that focus comes in. So when I come back to sitting in the driveway, I'm taking a deep breath. I'm focusing on who I'm choosing to be, how I want to show up. Now, when I go into that house, I could show up all ragged and wild, and the outcome could be, well, see, I told you so. See what's going on with her. See. Or I could choose on how I'm choosing to show up in a calm, collected manner as I go into some of the hardest decisions that I'm going to have to make. So what I'm doing is I'm future visioning how I'm embodying who I'm choosing to be in that moment, just 5 minutes at a time. Because as I'm harnessing that energy, the third step is fierce action. So breathe, focus, fierce action. BFF, your new best friend. And the fierce action, not just action, it's fierce action, because what I'm doing is I'm embodying the emotion that comes up. Now, all day long, we have emotions, and we should. We are human. We should have emotion. If we have anxiety, we have worry, we have hope, we have happiness, all of those emotions, we can use them as fuel in which to move us in a direction that serves us compared to self-sabotage, because we've been there. We already know. We know, like that fight, flight, or flight feeling that comes up. We know if we're put in a difficult situation, we all have a default that we go to. We know what that is. And we know when those emotions pop up and you think about where they are and you hold them in your body. For me, they come right into my stomach. I know that. Or I hold them right in my shoulders. I identify where that is. And then I harness it and use it as fuel to choose something that will serve me versus self-sabotage. Because why not try something new? And the final piece of it is 5 minutes at a time. Now, we can do something we really don't want to do for 5 minutes, and then we layer it another 5 minutes and another 5 minutes, and soon enough, you've gotten through a whole day. And what you're doing is you're creating new neural pathways. We're not necessarily getting rid of the old ones. What we're doing is creating new ones. And so with that emotion, what we're creating that new pathway. We're choosing something intentional, and we're doing it 5 minutes at a time. Your new best friend is right inside of you. And that is the fierce method, BFF, your new best friend. You can do it 5 minutes at a time. And how women are using it all over the world is in an intentional way to get more of what you deserve and less of what does not serve. And so as you do that, what you're doing is you're intentionally choosing you and your future you. As you do that, for example, I've had women who have said to me, in my workday, I got to deal with all kinds of people of all different walks of life, and I'm feeling heavy, and I really don't want to show up this way, but I don't necessarily, I'm not sure. I don't have a community. I don't have a room of women that are, uplifting me. And I just need to get through my day. Okay. When you see that email come across your desk and it's a hot one, and that's a trigger. We know. You see that text message, you see that, and you have that little feeling like, ooh, I really want to respond right now. Or you're scrolling and you see something. Use the BFF. Call up your best friend. Breathe. Focus. I'm focusing on who I'm choosing to be. I'm focusing on taking in less media. I'm focusing on not reacting so quickly. I am focusing on, hey, I'm going to open up my capacity and I'm going to release things that I don't need to hold on to. Okay. When I focus on that and I take that emotion that hops up in the scroll, in the email, in the text, ding, 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 ding. I harness that energy and I use it as fuel to put that phone down. I use it as fuel to get up from my desk and take a walk. I use it as fuel to give it 24 hours. Just 5 minutes. Soon enough, I've calmed down, got about 5 minutes, got into 10 minutes, got into 20. And I guess, you know what? That email doesn't really matter so much. And you know what? Maybe they did not mean to offend me. Maybe I got offended. And what I'm doing is I am leading my day. I am leading my emotions, and I am choosing how I will show up in this world on this beautiful journey. And now I have navigated another storm. And there's so many different ways to do it. If you're seeking financial freedom, if you're seeking to create a business, if you're seeking to create more community, if you're seeking, like, for example, we know 11 o'clock at night might be resonate, laying in bed, scrolling on Amazon of things that, deal of the day.
You can't relate.
I know, we're just, nice and comfy.
Like you know me.
And perhaps we have a goal of, in November, December, we kind of want to go somewhere warm. Okay. So at 11 o'clock at night, as we're scrolling and I see that, that's that great deal on Shane. And take a deep breath. I focus on that warm place that I want to be in November. I'm on the beach. Oh, yes. And I harness that emotion of that trigger, that like instant gratification. And I harness it to instant gratificate myself and put my phone down.
Yes.
I love that.
So good.
Preach.
So good.
And with that 5 minutes, I focus and I think of myself on that beach and I step away from that self-sabotage and I lean right in with my best friend and my BFF elevates me out of that storm.
Yes. You so perfectly just described a micro storm that is happening in every woman's life all day, every day, right? As we're barraged with opportunity and obligation and distraction and everything, that it's literally like you're just like the swatting, or I even could use so many analogies, but I think you nailed it on the very real thing that so many of us are battling right now, is to go to that phone for connection, to go to that phone for dopamine hit, but be at odds with your goals and to be at odds with, truly the decisions that you should be making. And I love being able to be like, my BFF, I just need to channel my BFF. I'll
That's
put
right.
Nick's little face and I'll be like,
Yeah. Well, I do think the practice is amazing in the fact that it reminds you that you are your best friend. Coming home to
Yes.
yourself is the
You
way
are your own best friend.
to sustain the things that you want to achieve in your life. And when you're distracted, what you're talking about, like all the shiny objects, squirrel, I'm so guilty of squirrel energy. And I think we all are. Like, you talked about the Amazon deal of the day, you talked about starting a business, you talked about, whatever it is. But if you really can catch yourself in those moments and be like, wait a minute, my goal is to go someplace warm. This is me sabotaging. Who do I phone a friend? Who do I call? Wait a minute, I got everything I need right here. And that Fierce method walks you through reconnecting with yourself using the BFF method. And it's an easy acronym to remember, right? We all have a BFF. Not only is mine Ryan or mine is her, or she's mine or whatever, but also we have our own in ourselves. Right.
It speaks to the conversations we've had on worth and self-worth, because when you identify the BFF that is inside of you, that is never leaving you, is always there and is always has your best and highest good at heart, it's so much easier to come in line with your self-worth. And it's really that comes down to all the manifesting, all of the energy you're putting out into the world when you are connected to your self-worth is so much more powerful.
Yes. And that's really what the key is I'm breaking it down in the BFF method 5 minutes at a time. And what it does is, as you're choosing who you're choosing to be, it can go 5 minutes, And with that, I'm encouraging you to dream further, think further, think
Dream bigger.
out larger,
Yes.
even larger. If you're thinking out to your 20-year goal, if you're thinking out to, I sometimes say, what is your 100-year goal? And some people sit back and say, what do you mean 100 years? Unless AI gets real good, I'm not going to be here. And I say, exactly. Some cultures believe that you don't actually pass on until the last person speaks your name. So what is your 100-year goal, and what are you leaving behind? And when we think about from that perspective and getting even bigger, that really narrows down how we're choosing to show up every moment, all the way down to the next 5 minutes. And when we think in that capacity of what is that long-term, 100-year goal legacy leaving behind, how do I want to be remembered, down to 20, down to 10, down to 5, down to this next year. As we think and reverse engineer it all the way down to the next 5 minutes, that makes decision fatigue easier. It lessens the load, because if I'm thinking, how am I connecting to me? All of these choices become mute as I breathe, focus, and take fierce action. And in this continued methodologies of different ways you can use it, is clearing that capacity. So when you scope down your week and you look at all the different places of in my calendar where I need to be, in my meetings, in this, and that, thinking, okay, if I am choosing to show up as future Carolyn, as future Mariah, as future Monique, and how I'm embodying that beach, oh yes, how do I need to look at my calendar this week in order to choose the top 3 things that are going to move the needle on where I want to be? And then where do I need to delegate? Where do I need to block calendar? And where do I need to remove in order to create capacity so I can continue to show up as me? I can continue to show up intentionally and with confidence, and making the decision of saying no, making the decision of saying the Midwest nice version, which is yes, but not right now. Or we can continue to say, I'm going to delegate, and I'm going to give another person an opportunity to do that, even though I know I can do it really, really well. I can do it the best. But do I need to? And so in those spaces, what I'm doing just 5 minutes at a time is I'm connecting to who that is. And then how am I clearing my capacity during the week in order to get there faster? What I'm doing is I'm cutting that learning curve, and I'm bringing that to me so much faster as I am embodying my BFF.
I love that.
Yeah, it really speaks to me because I'm a self-diagnosed late in life perimenopausal ADHD diagnosis.
I love that you're self-diagnosed. Like,
right?
there's no one to back it up other than me.
I mean, I'm a TikTok diagnosed, let's say that. But it speaks to me because in order for me to build the focus that I need to achieve the big dreams, 5-minute increments are really valuable and help me to keep on track, because I struggle to see all 100-year goal. I get that. But even like a 5-year goal, that feels so far away. And to be able to just not focus on that, like to really to put it out there, but then to build it 5 minutes at a time is exactly how I operate. And I go back to 2020 when I was in my own business crisis, I had some decisions to make about how I move forward. And I literally broke it down with a coach I was working with at the time that was like, I'm just going to make decisions one day at a time. I cannot project the future. At that point, nobody could. But I needed to harness that ability to make decisions for myself one day at a time. And to boil that down into how I show up was exactly the practice. And I love even going further into 5 minutes at a time. It's
5 minutes,
it's a
because
bite
sometimes a day is too much.
a day is
Yeah.
too much. It's a bite I
Mhm.
can chew right now, and then I can figure out what's next. And so often we're expected as women to have it all figured out, right? To have it all planned out, all perfectly figured out, all Pinterested out, and I'm an event planner, a wedding planner. This is how I work with my couples too. I'm like, okay, we can have the big goal, but I'm gonna walk you through this like one bite-sized chunk at a time.
So I think
Yes.
that's awesome that you picked that out, because for me, what I picked out of what you were talking about was really, we have been in the book group that we're both are in, and that
Yeah.
I'm facilitating. We're talking about dreaming bigger, right?
Yes.
And elevating our dreams, because we're so in this. We've been really trying to get out of scarcity mentality and just think about abundance. But part of that is you really achieve what you see. So let's see bigger. So we achieve bigger. So for me, what you were, when you were talking about like intentionally saying no as a way to achieve in a quicker way your 100-year goal, your 20-year goal, whatever the thing is, but in a shorter amount of time, it's really your future self saying, thank you for clearing out the clutter that you
Yeah.
didn't have to do. You didn't have to run and get the copies for everybody or get the coffee for everybody. Somebody else could do that. Let somebody else step up, or just don't do it, right? Like, the world isn't going to come crashing down. But the thing that you will at the end of the day say is, look, I invested in myself. I'm proud of myself. I did the thing that I thought was impossible, but I set the goal still and I achieved it. And my future self thanks me because I got all that out of the way. So I just picked that out of what you said. And it was like, yeah, we do need to dream bigger, but we also need to follow it up with aligned action, because it doesn't just happen because we say it's going to happen. We need to move it forward. And so the practical tips that you gave are priceless to anyone who's dreaming big, but like so overwhelmed with how to make it happen. And to Mariah's point and your point, 5 minutes is how you make it happen. You have choices
Exactly.
every second of the day, right?
Two
Yes.
ends. It's the two ends. The
Yes.
dream
Yes.
big,
Yes.
do it 5 minutes at a time, meeting at a much faster pace. I love
Yes.
this.
It's beautifully aligned, because yes, exactly that. And it's the embodiment of that is and is really getting into the human being. How are you choosing
Mm.
to be, not the human doing? Because if you notice, when I'm talking about the visioning and the dreaming bigger and whatever that is, I didn't say, oh, well, you're going to do this. And that's, a lot of people get stuck in the how. I'm talking about the being. Yeah, like not, and maybe not even necessarily the true why around it, because that can be hard too. It's more so, what does it feel like as to who I am being? So when I'm human being, what you're doing then within your nervous system is you're getting really connected to that. You can feel it in your body, and then that is where the change happens. And that's why it's 5 minutes at a time, and that's why we're harnessing that emotion, because as you're sharing, as you're navigating within businesses and helping women and identifying those the how to scale and step in and be those beautiful women entrepreneurs showing up for themselves and for each other. It's that 5 minute space of, yes, I can. So the goals that you map out with your community, and yes, I want to get into this goal, and this is where I'm headed, and I need to do it with that intentional 5 minutes of, oh, the procrastination gets in the way. Oh, well, I'm going to put everyone else before me, and then I'll get to this. And this happens for women as we hold up so many things. I'm inviting with this methodology to say, for 5 minutes, take a deep breath. Who are you choosing to be intentionally? We don't have to be everything to everyone. Can we? Sure, we can, but we don't have to be.
I love that.
And taking that emotion of not good enough, because that could be the underlying thing, and harnessing it to say, I'm choosing to let this go. 5 minutes at a time. Ooh, it's going to be hard, yes, to let it go and like let people totally get it wrong, and that's okay. That they can do it, go do it. And 5 minutes at a time. I'm learning something new. I'm creating a new methodology. I'm elevating, and I'm getting there so much faster because I took action, and I took action on the thing that usually would hold me back, would usually get in the way. And doing that 5 minutes of a day, soon enough, I've gotten through a whole day. And I can look back and I can notice all the things that I did do and celebrate those, because celebration is so essential. To
I love
celebrate
that.
what did I did do, not what I didn't, coulda, woulda, shoulda. What did I accomplish and how did I show up?
You got to celebrate it. That's my whole thing. So I love that you highlighted that, because the acknowledgement, that celebration, and even the tiniest thing, even you just celebrate with yourself alone in the shower, it is a really important acknowledgement. And we need that to fuel the effort and the work that goes in. So I love that you mentioned that, because it's obviously my passion too.
And so many people just constantly are moving the goalposts forward without acknowledging how far they've gone. Even the micro adjustments that they've done. It might not seem big to somebody else, but might be like revolutionary in your mind and a life shift. So celebrate even those, even if you're the only one in the room that shows up, right?
Yeah.
Celebrate with yourself. So yeah, what an amazing way to teach and support women and just people in general through challenging storms. Because you're right, we all have them. They're always here.
Yes.
My mind is just filled with inspiration of taking your methodology and just the way you share about it. And I'm so grateful that we're able to have you as a guest here today, because anybody listening, I feel like they're just so easy to listen. So the way you share about it is so easy to listen to, and to break through all of the walls that we build around ourselves, to be like, no, I haven't figured out, or I couldn't possibly, all of the no's that we say about receiving. I feel like you just go right through that like a knife, straight to the soul. So that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing
Thank
that
you.
wisdom today.
Thank you for having me.
We'll definitely have to have linked in the show notes how people can reach out to you, hire you for speaking, find your book. So please, folks, in the show notes, search her out. She's an amazing human.
I love, as we bring this conversation to a close, which is I hope just the beginning of the work that we can do together. How should people interact with you? What are the many ways that people can experience you? I'd love for you to just share that in your own words.
Yes. So I encourage people to tap into some of my tools. So you can find me on my website, on my school community, where I have free resources of daily resets, my resourcefulness lab for grants for women and in different areas for business owners, in order to tap into resourcefulness, because enable to honor when I'm teaching the Fierce Methodology, BFF. What we're doing in that methodology is we're truly understanding what's in you and your resourcefulness. What do you already have, and how can you make more of it? And so for me, as a person who has come from Salvation Army to PhD, if I have a PhD in resourcefulness, and within that, we can elevate each other. So come to my school community, come to my Facebook, my Instagram. If you look up my name, I am top of the SEO for all the things. So Carolyn Colleen, tap into all of them. You can see my TED Talk. You can see the journey. And truly just Google me. You find me at the top of all the things.
Amazing.
Love it.
I'm sure, any one of these resources that you've just listed, I feel like is going to resonate with people listening. So I can't wait to dive further into having you as part of In My Ear on the regular.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Carolyn Colleen. Again, Google her and you'll find all the resources, and we'll also link to them in our show notes. And just BFF, man, you are your own BFF, and that Fierce Methodology is an absolute gift It's a gift to
Thank
the
you.
world.
And
So,
thank you for
thank you.
everything that you're building and the community
Oh.
that you've built for women. It's so important. We need each other. And I'm so honored to be in this space with you and to watch the lives that you are shifting and changing and elevating, because
Aw.
sometimes we have to borrow the light another person sees us in us
Mhm.
until our light ignites. And so thank you for being the light for so many women every single day.
Oh, you too, honey.
Wow.
That's super sweet.
Wow. I feel seen, and that is one of the greatest gifts you can give to someone else. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, that's a wrap on today's episode. Thank you all for joining us, and look forward to connecting with you again in the future. Cheers, friends. You've just finished another episode of the Heart and Soul podcast. We hope that you've enjoyed the show, and if you've loved it, we would love if you'd leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you're listening. You can find links to leave that review in the show notes, where you'll also find other resources that we reference on our show. And if you think a friend could find value in today's episode or any future episodes, please share this episode with them on social media. This is one of the only ways the podcast can organically grow, and we just can't wait to connect with you and all of your besties. You can also find Monique and I on our many social media platforms or our websites, and we're going to leave links to those in the show notes as well. Thank you for listening. We look forward to sharing our hearts and souls with you again next time. With Heart, I'm Mariah.
And with Soul, I'm Monique.